Well, hello there guys, and welcome to the Battle of Bastogne. We are going to be playing on the American side this time, in fact, attempting to break through Bastogne and actually use the 4th Armored Division to open up a causeway and allow our men to get on through and support the men on the front. Now, we are going to be playing as the Allies in this one, so I hope you will join us. Alright guys, it looks like Axis are going to be getting the first move here, Panzeraufklärung. I'm sure I'm butchering that name, but we're going to try anyway. Here we go. So you can see actually the entrapped brigade here. We've got quite a few men completely stuck behind the lines over here at Margaret. In fact, we'll soon take a look at where our men are coming in. But we're definitely getting hit pretty hard with the Volksgrenadiers. They are coming in and trying to mop us up as quickly as possible. So let's just take a look here. It is morning time. We've got a misty type of weather. And keep in mind, this is one of the battles in game. So it's not as massive as the campaign. Although in a way, being able to play, you know, pretty much through the day instead of over the course of several years is really, really rewarding here. So what we want to do is, of course, move these guys to the line as quickly as possible. And I'm going to zoom out and show you guys the causeway that we need to get to. So you see right here, that's where our men are trapped. This is where the Germans have cut us off at Houbermont, Humont, Margarot, and Morquet. We're going to be heading east to try and break that encirclement. And of course, we'll also use some of the guys here on the ground to make... So we do have quite a few units right over here next to Neuville. I'm going to actually just go ahead and try to get a little closer, but obviously in situations like this, we want to approach with caution. The Germans could be anywhere, and even though, of course, you know, taking positions helps us, in this particular battle, the real goal is just to relieve this division. Though, of course, taking those nice positions is always a fun thing to do. So we're not going to move through now. We're just going to kind of stay on the rim of Neuville and see what happens. Let's just start moving in over here. Could actually get an attack here on the 28th Brigade, and considering we've got the 502 here, you know, I'm thinking that this might not be such a bad idea. Let's just take a look here. So 3-1, 10-1. Yeah, those are the odds we're looking for. This looks like just a standard Volksgrenadier regiment. We'll do an all-out attack. Try to sever that line. Very nice. Definitely took some damage there. Let us know in the comments below if you prefer the graphical view or the textual view. I know the textual view does give us a lot of information, but that graphical view is just so cool. I can't really pass it up. Push over here, and besides, you know, we can always take a look at the end day stats, that sort of thing, if we want. Alright, I would like to get an attack here, but we're going to try to soften the area up a bit, just a little bit of artillery here. I'll throw in another gun, just one more gun here. Now, as you can see there, especially against, you know, infantry units, had a lot more success against armored units, panzers, etc., especially destroying trucks. Artie seems to really destroy trucks quite easily. Well, that's a surprise. And we've got some SS divisions here to the south. These are likely the most dangerous divisions we're facing. So I'm going to go ahead, and it is a mechanized unit. I'm going to see if we can't just go ahead and fire away. Here we go, boys. We can get some AT fire in there. And hey, not too bad. That's kind of what you'd expect from, of course, an artillery strike. We killed 20 Panzer Grenadiers, but wiping out the STKFZs and the pack guns is really what makes me smile. Let's grab Brown's unit, and of course he will be getting reinforcements, but we need to break the causeway for that to happen. So I'm taking a risk there, putting them all the way out there, pretty exposed, and we're going to try a good old-fashioned attack here on that SS unit. Hopefully, I mean, assuming everything goes well and the odds are in our favor. That's not bad. And to hit the Panzeraufklärung, this actually might not be an SS unit. I know there are SS units stationed on this map. Let's go ahead and do an all-out attack. Quite a few. Look at that. Quite a lot of destruction. I like that. And they have retreated. So we've opened that area up. I am not heading out there, though, because I don't want to be overrun. The whole idea here in Bastogne is to hold the city and not allow the Germans to overrun us if at all possible. Looks like we have another attack here with odds 1-1. I'm actually going to recon in force, just get a better view of this enemy unit. But he actually took out 2 of our GIs as we crest. Alright, this is, of course, also, guys, our order of battle there. I'm just showing you the different units and, of course, you know, their underlying forces, as it were. Now, the 4th is the one that's trapped, but we are going to be breaking through over here with, I believe, the 8th Division. Let's take a look. And what we're going to do, we can't use the roadblocks to break through, but we can use our armored artillery as kind of a sort of tank. So I'm going to push through here. I'm also going to push with this roadblock unit and just kind of open up the area. And for those of you wondering, you know, what are these roadblock units? If you've seen any movies about the Battle of the Bulge, you'll know what these guys are. So basically, they would check papers, you know, make sure that you're actually part of the army. And quite often, the Germans would actually, you know, take some uniforms, dress up as roadblock units, and set up ambushes. And in fact, in this battle, if you play as the Germans, you can do that. You can actually set up ambushes. I forget what they're called, but they look exactly like the roadblock units, except for a little German flag hidden away. So keep that in mind for your future gaming needs. So here we are, we're going to just be pushing up with what looks like pretty standard or substandard AA battalions, but this is what we have to break through. So you got to work with what you got. Here we go. I think that's about as much as I want to push. We've also got some units to the south here, and the 4th are the ones coming in to help, but I believe the 4th are also trapped here. They are indeed. So these are other elements of that same division. Let's see. Or battalion or regiment. You guys know this, I don't, for God's sakes. I know this is a division, what we're currently holding on to. Or this is a division, what we're currently holding on to. Division's quite small. I think a artillery corps just has a bunch more men. Got 12 howitzers, a bunch of gun trucks, tractors, etc. Yeah, this is good stuff, man. So again, I want to push up with that armor, but I don't believe they push this turn. They can only push next turn. That's kind of when they get the heads up that there's even a problem. Tintonge. Let's get over there on Tintonge. Also get that artillery closer. It doesn't look like currently there are any targets to fire upon. And that can either be a blessing or a complete nightmare because they're going to be popping out over here to envelop and encircle that unit. I have no doubt that's what they're planning, of course. So what I'll do is take the 501st over here. I'm just going to put them right there on the edge. Not even necessarily going to attack these guys, just going to let them know that we're here. And actually, in this case, I am going to attack only because look at those odds, guys. 22-1. Smash into that Pioneer Battalion and reduce him to rubble. And there we go. An absolute massive retreat there. Kind of reminds me of that scene in Band of Brothers on, I believe, the island is the name of the episode when they ambush that Oss Battalion. That's what just happened to those guys right there. And in fact, I will push up with O'Hara. Thought maybe we could get a decent odds here, but I'm not going to take that attack. Let's just cancel and hold these existing positions. We could even take Margaret here. Man, I'm so tempted to attack just because I want to take that city tile. But you know what? I think I'm just going to remain here. Take this infantry unit, fill in that gap, and just play it safe. That honestly might be the best option in this scenario. We could also push west to kind of open up this area a bit more. I don't think I'm actually going to assault west, but what I'm going to do is just kind of, like you can see here, opening up that line a bit more. And actually, if we can spot the enemy, we might as well just kind of get eyes on these guys. Start firing. Boom, boom. No, we're not going to waste that much. Maybe just one artillery. And you can see that initial and current. So they took some nasty hits there. I think it's just because it's such a specific target on very open terrain. And we're actually going to push this guy up. Usually I would not push a gun up like this, but just to hold Givry, I think it might be worth it. And Private Pyle, my goodness, he's made it all the way here from Vietnam somehow. He's traveled back in time. I don't care if it's a different Pyle. We're calling him Private Pyle. He's the Private Pyle from now on. Pushing into that area seems like a mistake, so I will just hold my position here. I think the best thing to do is probably, oh, wait a minute. So when you take a look at these units, guys, these AA battalions, you know, of course, usually they're made for anti-air operations, but actually, in terms of holding back the enemy, they're not bad. I think I'm going to send this AA battalion over here to the south, where we've got this guy not in the best position. And what I'm going to do is just a recon. Actually, we'll just probe. Just take a look here. So they fell back pretty quickly. We lost some men too. That is just another Panzerlehr division. Don't like them at all. They're quite fast, especially if they have mechanized units with them, and it looks like they've got 22 STKFCs. Man, I want to get the tank over here, the tank destroyer battalion to hit them. But again, these tanks, if you look at that health meter, which really just represents the amount of men in the unit, there's only 7 tanks here, I believe. There's really not many. So if we attack there, you can see how poorly that's going to go. We'll just put this guy here to hold Ardennes. Put that guy on the front. I don't typically use these ranged attacks with infantry, but you know what? In this situation, getting that additional supporting fire from the artillery, this might work out okay. So let's see what happens. 20 Panzer Grenadiers killed, missing in action, etc., whatever. 1 Panzerschreck and an SDKFC, not special. Though, of course, we didn't take any damage for that, but considering that Germany is, you know, on the ropes at this point in the war, every single round counts. So I'm not so sure that was the best use of our rounds. Nonetheless, we're going to keep on firing this time at this unit, and look at those odds, man. I'm just going to use the infantry to fire now. Got some mortars there, but we did 0 damage. Man, that's no fun. Again, those 1-1 odds are looking quite good to me. I think we'll go for recon and force, and this way, if we absolutely have to, you know, we can always fall back at 25% losses. Yeah, that's no good. We really did take 25% losses there, and it's not fun. Here we go. Let's end that turn. First, really quickly, I want to take a look at the cards here. So we can organize a roadblock. That's useful, but not right now. I don't think so. We could even get some replacements, but maybe right now we should wait. Although, early on, we need to make that causeway happen, so let's go ahead and launch the replacements. We've got the points for it. Might as well use them up. Lots of German units moving in, although with this snow, it's quite easy to see them. Visibility is pretty good, and of course it is during the daytime. There's not really anything like a storm going on. The storm happened at night, and again, we can see them pretty well out here. So I think this gives us a chance to take some good shots, but even there at Ardennes, they are trying to overrun us. Look at that. So I'm thinking maybe we can do a counterattack here and trap them within their own trap using pile and maybe that artillery gun, if anything. Here we go. So let's see, well, it is misty, so I take that back. It's not looking great. It's not looking great. Let's keep pushing. So this time I will push into Rosier. I'm sure that the people will be happy to see some American faces come to help them and such. Let's go for an all-out attack against that horse-drawn artillery. And some people may think, like, man, that's really pretty bootleg to have horse-drawn artillery. This was the main form of transport for the German military, so they had a lot of these things. There we go. They did hold, just barely, but we wiped out a number of them. And maybe if we move up here with the engineers, we can bust right through. We are the engineers. And they managed to hold against the engineers. Still, they did push them back, and those engineers are looking just fine. Go. Oh boy. Yeah, we're just moving these roadblocks up, although I think this might be auto-managed. Probably best to keep them over sections like that, where you've got like kind of 2 roads dipping off. I mean, at least if I were a German ambusher, that's where I would set up my sections. Alright, to Ambalouf. I believe we are just now breaking through. Let's go to Houbremont. Of course, we'll keep our eyes open. We're not going to jump for anything. There we go. Okay. I think we've got it open, actually. We are probably receiving supply, and that confirms it. Look at that green supply. I believe we've saved most of our men, but of course still a lot of enemies here that we need to deal with. So first things first, let's deal with that tank. Alright, so depending on the odds here, I could attack, right? Those odds aren't looking great, though. Another option is to move up here and try and cut them off here at Senoncham. I'm also going to make this effectively a combat unit, because look, as long as they can attack, I'm a happy man. And let's take Pile, further complicate their situation. Now, we could move west and further open up this area, but I actually think this might be a better option. Completely cutting off Kampfgruppe Kaufmann. Oh god, just why? Here we go, Arsenois. Actually, we should probably go for the Lair Division, but I'm trying to hit them from multiple angles here. And again, that unit's not looking great. You know, they're just not looking great. We're not going to be receiving, or we didn't receive any supply last turn. This turn, with that open, those open roads, we probably will. But let's see if we can go ahead and do some serious damage here. Man, that's not looking good no matter how you cut it. Let's get rid of the tank, get rid of the armor. No, 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 no. It's just not looking great. So we'll hold for now. Again, our goal is not necessarily to take these areas. Our goal is to hold position and, of course, relieve this unit completely. So let's take Arsenois, and I'm going to use this unit just to go ahead and recon and force against whatever the enemy has there. Evidently not seeing much. Let's see how much damage we can do to Kampfgruppe Kaufmann here. I think it might be worth it. I typically don't go for anything except 3-to-1 odds, but in this situation, if we can destroy that unit or get them to retreat, I think it could be worth all of the tiers. And we definitely knocked them down quite a bit, killed a bunch of these guys, but they are doing fine. That might change next turn, and again, I'm going to turn this into a combat unit just to defend that road. We might just roll in, but again, I didn't expect it to go very well, and it wouldn't go very well if we did. Same thing over here, just turning it into a combat unit. Again, I'm taking the risk. I would not recommend, especially on this attack, that you do this. But I'm basically turning our artillery crews into infantry, and they did okay. We actually have glider infantry that are quite effective here in this situation. Destroyed 2 Panzer IVs, I'll take that. And it looks like 20 Panzer Grenadiers. Hey, why not? Alright, Bullet, we'll take you out for a walk soon, buddy. Yeah, he's had 6 walks today, but we gotta do one more just to be safe. Let's move up. Over here. No, so we'll keep that artillery in place. And actually, these units look pretty controllable. 20, 15, nothing that I'm concerned about. Up here at the north, still nothing that I'm concerned about. Really, this is the main issue. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just pretty much call a broken arrow on that tank, on Kaufmann's unit, and see if we can't just demolish it. Or that's right, that's not Kaufmann, that's another tanker. Again, managed to destroy some Panzer IVs, managed to destroy an SDKFC, but nothing special. Really got to get in there up close and personal to do damage to these guys. And we do have that tank unit from the 101st Airborne Division, and they're actually fresh. So next turn, they're going to be quite useful. This turn, not necessarily. But I'm going to commit to that southwest area near Sabre. And the reason being, I see they've got a lot of armor there. That's where they're going to have their armored push. The Germans just don't have enough armor to spread across the line. They're probably going to mostly have infantry in these areas. So let's just do that. So he is in range for supply as long as it works out. Yeah, right? I was surprised by that too. The 101st Airborne having tanks, I'm not sure. It is, look, I mean, it is absolutely possible for a division that's specified for, like for instance, you could have an AA division with a combat group within it, right? You can have that. You can have Luftwaffe divisions, for instance, that are offensive infantry attack groups. I guess it's kind of one of those things. Somebody else also questioned that how weird it would be, like, in this game and Gary Grigsby or something, they have, like, separate police divisions or whatever. But somebody had mentioned, I think it was, what's his name? A German friend? He's always so helpful in the comments, too. I'll make sure to give you a shout-out in our video description. But he said something like, basically, like rear guard units. That position, the Nachttruppen, was not like an actual division or anything like that. It was pretty much just a job assignment, essentially. So Nachttruppen were, you know, guys that were rear guard units, but they were Nachttruppen in every single, you know, division. And every single, you know, infantry, whatever, tanks, there would be these rear guard units. So just getting back over here to the 8th Army. Let's call it the 8th Army now, because Agrippa doesn't know his regiments from his divisions. And if you've made it this far in the video, why don't you go ahead and in the comments do us a favor and just type in, if you're watching us on YouTube, Radio Werewolf. How about that? Radio Werewolf. If you get this far in these videos. I always like to find out how many people get this far. I'm always surprised as well that people actually watch this to this long. I really do appreciate your dedication, my friends. So it looks like despite opening up the gap there, they absolutely still have operational units over here. That's all going to be part of the same army group. Let's get to Hot, but I'm now concerned that they could have more units. No, we're going to fall back. I mean, this is one of the situations where falling back is going to be the correct option. In fact, being away from the road here is making me quite nervous. Let's move northwest. And now at least the 4th can start moving, trying to save their buddies. So let's send these tanks to the northwest. I'm anticipating maybe some tanks over there, and we'll send this one straight to the north. As long as that HQ unit is in the vicinity of all of them, they'll still be receiving supplies, etc. Let's get around Tintonge. It looks like these, this army right here, is this the 7th? Sorry, the 3rd Corps. It has a lot of these roadblock units and a lot of artillery units, not necessarily made for frontline combat, but as you can see, sometimes we have to get into positions where we are going to be in frontline combat with these units. Now, not so much for the American player, although they can do this. But if you're playing as the Germans, these bridges will regularly be destroyed by partisan attacks, French partisans, etc. Of course, German soldiers can still destroy the bridges before we get there by using a card. Let's just hope they don't play that card. Yeah, this looks like a pretty weak unit. What is the... Is it Honda? What is... This reminds me of a car company. Chrysler, maybe? I think it's Chrysler. Reminds me of the Chrysler symbol. Somebody definitely check me if I'm not getting the correct company, but yeah, that reminds me of a certain car company. Alright, so maybe we can open up a second gap over here. I can dream. I can certainly dream. And once that tank gets there, pushing west might not be so difficult. Alright, let's go down to Humo, but once again, I am going to be somewhat cautious about this. Let's go here first. So 2 cities, or 2 towns liberated, but of course, they could still close this gap pretty quickly. That's why I want to attack over here. I want to make sure that they know that we are not defenseless. They're going to put, you know, juicy targets in front of us like that, we are going to take them on. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Yeah, it's no fun to have an animal go missing, man. Once again, because of the amount of men here, which is close to nothing, I really want to attack, but probably not the best idea. Let's go for just an attack, not an all-out attack. That was a mistake right there. Nearly 40 airborne and 20 glider troops lost there. I'm guessing glider troops are also going to be airborne units. Just to wipe out 120mm mortar, a horse team, and 20 Volksgrenadiers. Yeah, we got to choose our battles more carefully, especially in Bastogne. You know, once again, this is really more defensive for the Americans. Although situations like that, for instance, doesn't get much better than that. We go for an all-out attack. Bayonets at the ready. What just happened there? What just happened? Did you guys see that? That ended up being a recon attack. I don't know why. Must have hit the button accidentally. There we go, and they actually did a tremendous job, losing 40 airborne troops, but we took out 140 enemy with and also a Panzerschreck team. And they have retreated. So we're going to go ahead and kind of expand this area here. We are essentially, we're no longer trapped, but we're essentially encircled, as you can see here. So we don't want to be further encircled. We really want to try to alleviate that as much as we can. Come on, boys. Look at that 7-1. Look at that. Tremendous attack, only losing 3 bazooka troops, guys. Killing over 90 or capturing or wounding. You only find out until at the end a number of enemies. We could also just check the casualty list. Boom. Again, just trying to open up this gap a bit and make sure that we are not completely encircled. And it might be time to get a little aggressive on this Vice unit. I think we could probably get rid of the tank. Yeah, actually we do better without the tank. Now, despite chopping them to bits, they took a nice little chunk out of us there. Some airborne veterans, or GI veterans, I should say. And maybe we could go ahead and hit this location as well. Nope. They've got somebody behind that unit. I really want to take Margaret, but without getting that supply, I just don't feel safe doing it. Oh yeah, they had a ton of Opel trucks, the Germans, for sure. But, you know, one thing, again, the thing that I was always surprised about is just the amount of horse teams the Germans use. Because I always associated, like, horse teams with, like, the Soviets, early war, like, really, really cheap horse teams, because that's all they had. But the Germans just, man, they use so many of those poor horses. Poor German horses. They might not even be German horses. For all I know, they're Arabian. Let's take a look here and see how we do against the Panzerlehr team. See, they're strong. This is gotta be an SS unit. And this is late war, so the SS are quite elite. I think we'll hold. We haven't done much artillery strikes this turn, many artillery strikes this turn. Yeah, let's call it. Alright, ending turn. Let's take a look at the cards first. Hold on. I think we did call in that replacements card, did we? Nope, not yet. Let's call it in. We must have called it in last turn, but we're just calling it in twice. Might as well get some more replacements. Alright, let's end that turn and see what they do. You know what I'm going to do as well is just save the game. I have had one bug that I want to let you know, make you guys aware of. Let you guys know about, make you aware of. And that is that a lot of the times, like, it'll lock up on the enemy turn, and you are stuck. You can't get out of it. You know, you are stuck. You got to end your game, and there's no autosave unless you turn it on. So, just a word to the wise. There we go. Again, just trying to expand that gap a bit, even if it means moving in an armored artillery battalion. And our next target is going to be Chinon here. Let's end that turn. A lot of people are saying that. I'm going to buy this as soon as possible. Yeah, this is a great game. And again, I will once again reiterate that if you haven't played Decisive Campaigns Barbarossa, if you prefer the Eastern Front, make sure to pick that up instead. Just because, again, it's really... I would recommend these games based on the fronts you prefer, and this doesn't have the moral ambiguity that that game does, where you actually have to make decisions, moral decisions, on both the Soviet and the German side, to determine, like, whether you're going to be in good with the higher, the party leaders or the generals, so definitely something to look at. And look at that, guys. They have pushed us back at Assenois. Managed to hold firm against the tank division there, but I don't like that push at Assenois. They are breaking through pretty well here. And getting close to the center of Bastogne, of course, which is what we definitely don't want. Under any circumstances, we must hold Bastogne. All right, let's have a look. So again, hazy afternoon, light freeze. Next turn is going to be, I believe, nighttime. Currently have 46 victory points. So we need to stop that. We need to put an end to that victory point gain. To move forward with the 8th, we've got to make sure to keep that general on his toes. Another thing I don't like is they don't tell you, I'm sure there's a place to find it, but they don't tell you who is commanding this unit, like what general is commanding it. Sort of a lack of information there. Alright, here we go. Yeah, let's open it up. Look at that. We might get that second gap going. I don't know. It really depends how we do against this tank. I'm going to bring in our tank as well. Might even be a good idea to soften this guy up with Artie. Yeah, I'm really throwing everything in. I'm throwing everything in this one, man. Let's go for it. All-out attack. And not what I was really expecting. I mean, we got them to retreat. That's the good news. But I was kind of hoping for something more devastating than that. We got them down, 16 tanks destroyed, so it's pretty devastating. No infantry units killed, which means there are no infantry units in that particular tile, or that tile that we just overran at least. Yeah, let's go for the tank. Man. Yeah, they're just going to keep falling back, like, even if it means a single tank. But again, we have them surrounded now. They're not getting any sort of supply in or out. Although I will say this, I'm not sure on these, like, daily battles if it really matters. And the reason I say that is because, you know, they're only out of supply for, what, you know, a couple hours? Is that sufficient to really cause problems? I'm not sure. You know, I'm guessing it could probably cause problems with ammunition, but in terms of, like, you know, supplies, like food and drink, I don't think so. Another area where we might be able to overrun them here, but we want to approach with caution because there could be somebody on that tile. And there probably is, because they actually broke out all the way over here. So let's just surround them. Yep, sure enough. Send in Snafu here. No, I thought Snafu was going to be able to go in for an attack. Look at how strong they are, man. We're even going to use the HQ unit. I mean, desperate times call for desperate measures, and these are desperate times. We can't have them getting near Bastogne. There we go. We've got some retreating guys, but it looks like they are still alive there, right next to the city center. Again, not something we want. Falling back with the tank is definitely an option if it comes down to it, but for now, let's play it cool. 6-1, 22. Yeah, let's do that. Completely eviscerated that defending group. Let's take a look at the graphics there. And only losing, it looks like a gun truck, maybe a half-track, and 1 unit. A lot of times these units are operational losses too. You know, like, I'm sure, man, when you're moving this amount of men and machines over, you know, a particular area of land, you're going to have guys running over each other. You're going to have guys slip and fall, break their ankles. You know, this is just like natural stuff on a battlefield or really any work site. Look at that, boys. We're going to keep pushing. Does he have any defenders? He does not. All-out attack. Let's get some vengeance here. Thou shalt not encircle the 101st Airborne. See, if we have the opportunity to get some nice breakout attacks, I'm going to take that opportunity. Don't have eyes on them, but we can pretty much be certain it's going to be trucks, and sure enough, look at that. Completely eviscerated and captured some enemies as well. So we got some prisoners now, boys. All right. O'Hara. Yeah, he's right there. Let's push with O'Hara as well. He's going to get an additional attack. Yup, he is. And I think, once again, they're down to their last troop, really. And since we have this side of the bridge, I'm actually going to hold. There's even, I believe, a card to destroy the bridge. Let's take a look here. Looks like we can get a new bridge, but we can't destroy a bridge. That's a shame. Let's go ahead and call in... Is that the Canadian? It might be. Let's take a look here. 4th Armored Division. And we need to put him in a location where he can actually spawn, which is going to be down here to the south. Let's play that card. Oh, yeah. Now, with these southern troops, as we like to call them, we're just going to go ahead and push up to Blood. Look at that. They're not even defending it. That is surprising. Boom. I'm just going to move up in sort of a marching formation, just trying to get up the road, snake up the road, let's say. Over here towards Tintonge, though, I'll take a different approach and just kind of approach on all fronts, essentially. So we'll do something like this. Of course, getting down that road is a lot easier. Let's just do that and start sort of working our way towards... Sure, and I know it's not pronounced that way, but it's really does look it. Here we go. Fallschirmjägers. Yeah, these are definitely Fallschirmjägers. Let's get over here. Let's bring the tank over as well. The shame is we have to go all the way around to make that happen. But I think it's worth it to try and flank them here. Same situation over here. Now, these guys are slightly out of supply. Just slightly out of supply. sure why that guy can't move. That's a little strange. Let's... Yeah, these guys are definitely suffering from lack of supply there. But they shouldn't. They are in range here of the unit. These two guys are not, however. That's why I was trying to move them up. But for some reason, this core is just kind of stuck there. Alright, let's push down with the Glider Regiment. Just take a look at Margaret. I always want to try to take the towns, cities, etc. with infantry if possible. Yeah, it looks clear. In fact, we could probably even push through to Moorhead. But look at this. If we can get all the way through, then we cause another break amongst the enemy line here. Oh, baby. Not a single guy touched. That's why you can never trust the thing that's like giving you the odds of winning, etc. Because even though, yeah, you might win, but we might also do 0 damage. I'm going to cut over here, guys, once again, trying to cut them off, trying to cause some problems here for the enemy. Although I will, you know, reiterate, I'm not sure how much damage we're actually doing to them from cutting them off, because this is just, you know, an hour-to-hour fight, basically. Really don't like that guy there at all. Let's have Cherry fall back to Bastogne. And actually, I thought that was going to be great, but it's not. I thought, like, since this is an artillery battalion, or that there must be anti-tank forces there. Nope, we need a proper AT battalion. So let's just use the artillery to bombard this guy right here. Open fire. Not a single one damaged at all. Not one. Not one Stug damaged. Damn, I expected that to go much better. Alright. Let's just hold. Hold until relieved. What I'm trying to do is just get one of these artillery guns to fire on that unit, or at least a few of them, so that he's kind of trapped there in the western part of Bastogne. We're going to have to hit the city, try to wipe out some of his units. Looks like we did manage to hit 10, not too bad. That shrapnel counts for something. Beautiful. Once again, when we can overwhelm the enemy and force them back, I think we should. But we're not going to push out too much. Again, we could push out to Micamps, or Borcy, or Rachamps, but I'm not even going to attempt that. I'm just going to kind of keep my position here. Look at that. Over 100 missing in action or captured by us. And again, the tanks are extremely dangerous on these smaller missions. So any chance I have to strike out against that armor, I'm taking it. And we managed to destroy 7 Hetzers, 1 RSO. I'm not sure what the RSO is, but I will absolutely take that. That's nice. Over here, of course, managing to get that flank attack. Even though the enemy could come down from the north, I think this will be okay right now. Nice. Another retreat by the enemy. Always a good thing. And I think, once again, we'll hold that position. We do want to make sure that these guys from the southwest are still breaking through. And it looks like, for the most part, they're doing what they can to further open the gap. But, of course, this is a problem, so I'm going to put this guy right there on the road. Hopefully, he'll intercept the Stug team if they move this way. I don't think he's going to beat them in a fight, but maybe they'll stop there and face him, still allowing the supply to run through. Might be able to take it this turn. No, I think we'll have to wait for next turn. Oh, look at that. Those are our reinforcements. We don't get to use them yet, but they look great, man. Look at that. Everybody's ready to go. Yeah, definitely not Canadian. If somebody wants to tell us what those, what that abbreviation means, I would appreciate it. Alright, let's end it there. Nice attack there by the enemy. They did push through. Now, these are just individual breakthroughs. I'm still not too nervous, but of course, this could always get much worse. Got some nice supporting artillery fire there from our own arty. Let's hope that kind of keeps the enemy at bay while we rush in more and more and more troops. And really, we want to not just meet up that western side, but meet up that southern side with the main army. That way we have no encirclement whatsoever. And it is nighttime, guys. This is where things do get damn dangerous. At night, just about anything can happen. Of course, breakthroughs can occur without really even seeing the enemy. So we want to be very careful here. Every move we make is going to be extremely dangerous going forward. I'm not liking this night one bit. And again, sometimes the best thing to do at night is just hunker down, wait it out. Could certainly do that here. I didn't have moves selected. Good job, Agrippa. Let's surround this Hauser squad here, and we can attack them with the tank. That I don't understand. Let's deal with this guy. We actually should deal with this guy first. I don't care what the losses are here. Let's go in for the attack. And again, hopefully at night, they'll be a bit surprised. And that's, once again, Group Kaufmann. He's still looking pretty strong. Let's bring in Cherry over here, right on Bastogne. We brought him in here specifically to help defend. And that's pretty nice, 7-to-1 odds. We can do a little additional damage doing that. We'll keep the HQ back. There we go. We did get a retreat, although he is still operational. He's still alive, essentially, and because of that, he is still closing us off. So we've got to get in there and do some heavy lifting. Even if it means charging in, gotta do it. Another retreat, and hopefully it's off this actual road. Nice. So there we go, guys. We've pretty much got this guy away from the city. If we want to be extra safe, we can go ahead and open fire on him with artillery, but I don't think it's necessary. We will attack him with other units, but for now, I'm going to reserve this arty for this group of units right here. 26 and a 19. And those are accurate numbers, by the way. We are, like, again, sort of on the smallest level of battle I think you can get in the game. And so, you know, this is actually 14 units, 34 units, etc., 17, 27. Just imagine that, man. Especially when you look at the scale here. Hit him with everything we've got. Night attack. We could have probably moved in O'Hara and made that an even more successful push. In fact, they held off. That's the first time, especially over here near the Alaborn area, that they managed to hold us off. Now, if we really want to stick it to the enemy, we can go there for the Alaborn area and take that supply. I don't think I necessarily want to do that right now. I just want to be safe. And safety right now is meeting up with these units in the south. So I'm heading down to Warden. Make sure that he's within range of that HQ. He is, just barely, though. And potentially go for an attack here against Hauser. Well, this guy's also a problem. We could completely section Hauser off here. I think actually what we'll do, let's start an attack against that AA gun. Not gonna go well. Let's get in Assenois. What about now? It's better. I'll do it just because of the chance to encircle them here. They have panicked completely. Believe that also means we pretty much captured any units that didn't get away. Let's get up there. We are falling back just a little bit to try an encirclement here. Although we don't really need an encirclement against this unit. Oh, yes, we do. They do have infantry units amongst their group. All right, let's hold. It turned into a Porky Pig there for a second. My goodness. Oh, man. Yeah, I do have, like, a very mild stutter, but it only comes out in very specific situations, like right there when I smash my eye with my finger. Let's get up here to Chenon. And again, this guy is out of supply, but getting to Cibray. Yep, they're gonna be waiting for us at the city. Alright, okay. You wanna play it like that? So they've got a nice defensive line here. Look at that. We could pretty much just sort of see right down the middle there from Cibray all the way up to Chenon. A nice line of defense. It even stretches all the way down here. Let's keep pushing. Anybody that can move has got to move. Let's see if 8th can move this turn. He finally can move. I think he's being supplied from another HQ, because it says here that this has no HQ, so they might be getting all of their supply from 6th, or from one of the other ones out here. Not sure how that works, but okay. There we go. Enemy right there. I think we better go ahead and try to loosen them up a bit with some artillery. We're not going to know if we hit a damn thing. And let's move in with this AA battalion. Once again, pretty much an offensive unit, despite having AA characteristics. This M3 is perfect against enemy infantry. Slices and dices. Unfortunately, no slicing and dicing here, but 2 supply trucks. Actually, 2 jeeps lost. That's a shame. Should have just done a probing attack to sort of see what was going on there. Ooh, don't like this. Whatever works. Yeah, pretty lackluster. Almost feel like pulling back would be a pretty good idea here too. But let's just try to disrupt this unit. They managed to hold. Again, night attacks are always risky, and this is why I mentioned earlier, like, sometimes at night, the best thing to do is just sit on your ass and wait. We'll just attack with individual units here. It's actually somewhat more effective right now than just launching all of our guys at once against the enemy. Here, let's just probe. Make sure there's no additional units there. This is looking almost like a perfect encirclement, unless we destroy this guy right now. And what we could also do is take the 158 and go ahead and try to move north. Actually, this is another option. Let's do that. There we go. Fun for the whole family. And I think we should fall back here to Riccon a bit. Sort of open that up. And let's see if we can... Unknown odds. I don't like that one bit. I don't like that one bit. Let's hold off on the unknown odds. Of course, we are potentially giving up a location here, but I think this is just the correct strategic choice. Even if they take it, we will take it back eventually. Yeah, let's hit him with Smarty. Nice. The mortars were on point. Look at that. I mean, you know, it's only a handful of enemies, but in a fight like this, that makes all the difference. Alright, I'm going to try to use O'Hara here. Had my eye on him from the beginning. Unfortunately, yep, they do have a unit here at Nieden-Ambach. I don't want to go for Aliborn, but I do want to make them focus on this area so that they send unnecessary amounts of units over here. Looks like they're already kind of doing that. Get that gap close even more. No, we've definitely got a hold there. And hopefully we are draining them of supplies. But I think they could just as easily be heading north to take the city. We'll have to see what they decide to do. Just want to make sure we don't have any additional units. No, that's going to be it. All right, night shall be over. Here we go, folks. Got lots of movement. So far, not many attacks, and let's hope this does not translate to an attack on the city itself. Our Artie is doing just a great job at picking them off at a distance. And Group Kaufmann is down to literally a man. Literally a man. But as long as he's there, he could still disrupt operations. We managed to hold firm here against 2 attacks, guys, from both sides there. That might be directly... sorry, it's not Bastogne, but it's close. Might be a part of Bastogne, actually. Bastogne. I was wondering why it looks so similar. Let's hope that the German High Command gave their men the wrong orders, and they're attacking Bastogne and ignoring Bastogne completely. O'Hara, hold on, son. And he did hold on, man. You can trust O'Hara and Pyle to hold on against just about any attack. Now, that is a massive enemy attack, and again, we held on. If you take a look there at enemy losses, it looks like 3. Just 3 lost on their side. So they are slowly starting to weasel their way through that eastern point. Alright, back to the allies. Morning, clear, a light freeze. Almost comfortable. Alright. Very nice. So actually now I think we can capture these guys around Cibret and Chinon if we play our cards right. Kaufmann, still a problem. The little bastard needs to go. Let's see if I can alleviate us of that tick. And sure enough, they will be retreating. But is he still alive? No, he is completely wiped out. Don't have to worry about Kaufmann anymore. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video and you want the Battle of Bastogne to continue, please make sure to hit that like button, drop a comment down below, and subscribe. And we'll see if we can't get a part 2 up and running fairly soon. Thank you so much for stopping by. And